Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0. This is going to be our second look at this, and as promised, we are going to compare it to some other popular carry models. But before we do that, let's go ahead and test it out again. All right, now that we're done testing this out, a couple of extra mags out here on our safe range, we are going to go inside the shop and check this out compared to a couple other models. All right, before we get into the actual comparison of the sizes with these popular EDC or carry models, I wanted to note a couple extra observations that I've had since yesterday. One, I am incredibly pleased with the shooting experience with this little Bodyguard 2.0. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just very smooth shooting. I don't know if you can pick that up from watching me shoot it in the video, but it's just not snappy. And I haven't shown the target yet, but everything was basically within, you know, the target circle. I didn't have anything extremely to the left. It wasn't the most accurate, but around 10 yards. I was getting what I would consider to be a satisfactory group. Another thing too is that there is a lot of there's just a lot to grip on the slide here. It's very easy to rack, as you can see there. And by the way, this is empty, as you can see. It's very easy to grip, and the as far as the actual handle on it, the grip itself, the texture is just almost perfect, where you don't have to go and buy, you know, Talon grips or anything. It's not so tough that it's sandpapery, but it's grippy enough that I don't feel the need to add anything extra to it. And that's another thing that's probably one of the greatest bonuses of this particular gun, is that, you know, with so many handguns, especially in the modern era, as soon as you get it, you have to go out and spend basically as much as the handgun cost itself in upgrades. Like with this 43X with the MOS, you know, I had to go buy the actual optic, I had to go buy the light, and with this there's no options for upgrades, so it is what it is. So I don't have to go out and spend, you know, a butt ton more money once I buy this gun. I just got to get a holster and make sure I have ammo, and I'm good to go. So that's another thing that I've really enjoyed about this thus far. Another thing too is the trigger. For I paid $420 for this gun, which is slightly less than MSRP. $420, $420, kind of a funny number for me considering what I do. But the thing is that this trigger is so interesting that, being a former SIG everyday carry owner and now a Glock carrier, the trigger is very interesting. It is surprisingly good. It is kind of like a mixture of a Glock and a P365, or a, you know, a SIG striker fired trigger. I'm very familiar with SIG striker fired triggers, being that I carried a P365 daily for 2 years and also had a P320. They have a very audible thud to them, which I'm very keen to. I can hear it instantly. As a matter of fact, I heard somebody pull out their P365 XL in the FFL in the shop. He was an employee, and it was empty, and he dry fired it, and I heard it from 7 feet away. I was like, yep, that's a SIG P365 trigger. It's very familiar thud, but I digress. I am loving this little Bodyguard 2.0. So let's get to the comparisons. And for YouTube, once again, we will verify that is empty. and safe. These magazines have been empty and are also safe. One further observation before we get to the size comparison, very tough to load out from the factory. I was actually struggling to get the last couple. I've never got 12 rounds in this yet, but I have managed to get 11 rounds in it every time I load it, which is one more than Such or Sensible Prepper. I just watched his video on it, and apparently he couldn't get more than 10 in it. But here we go. Here is, I think, probably the most apt comparison between the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 would be the P365. And I no longer have my P365. I traded it off, but I still have my trainer, which is an exact size comparison with my P365. So looking at them, you can see that the P365 is quite a bit thicker, but noticeably thicker, longer, and has more of the actual magazine endpoint of the grip exposed, which would matter. You know, if you're concealed carrying, you're a skinny dude like me, you like to wear skinny clothes that fit you, those types of things matter. So up against the P365, this is probably the closest comparison and the most apt way to demonstrate that this is less of a footprint than your P365. And even the P365 that come in 380 are the same size as the P365 in 9mm. Hence rendering, I would think, the Bodyguard 2.0 a better option than the P365 in 380. So that's the P365. Setting that aside, I think my current EDC, the Glock 43X, is the next best comparison, and this is just night and day as far as size. And this is the quote-unquote Micro 9. It's not really, but kinda, from Glock. This is their offering, and you know, they're 10 rounders. I know you have the S15, you know, from Shield Arms. You have the ability to get those magazines upgrade the magazine catch, all that. But either way, this is like just orders of magnitude different. I mean, you can see the grip. I mean, look at that. So quite a difference from the P365, which is my current EDC. Matter of fact, I'm putting that back in my inside the waistband holster right now. So we'll set that down, and now let's look at the Glock 26. So this is another staple EDC pistol. This one is my 3rd gen Glock 26. I have 2 of these, and these have the night sights, as you can see there. And I really love a Glock 26. It just feels so natural in my hand. But let's look at the size comparison with the Bodyguard 2.0. It is night and day. Thickness, length, I'd say comparable in grip length, actually. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? But look at the rest of the profile of the size. It's just super tiny. Look at that. So that's the Glock 26. And if the Glock 26 is going to be an order of magnitude different, just imagine the Glock 19. I mean, just look at that. I mean, it's ridiculous. This is just tiny. And considering it's such a smooth, I mean, just user interface, shooting, no wonder so many people are satisfied with the Bodyguard 2.0. I mean, this is just, you know, somebody that just went and bought this is not even sponsored or whatever, but I figured we'd round it off with comparison to not only a revolver, but a Smith & Wesson revolver, because why not? This is a Smith & Wesson pistol, and this was a long favorite. I bought this probably, maybe 2014, and this is the Smith & Wesson. I think this is the 642. They have so many variants in the 640 series, but this is a 5-shot, which is empty, 357, revolver will shoot 38 special, and just look at the size difference in that. And one of the recent videos that I watched on YouTube, the gentleman was saying that this was going to displace a lot of revolvers. Well, I'd say there's an argument for that, considering revolvers, sometimes revolver people love revolvers, and there's revolver people, but definitely a little bit of a size and weight difference and advantage with the Bodyguard 2.0 compared to certain revolvers. Now there's the 380 argument versus 38 versus 357 Magnum versus 9mm, yada yada yada. That's I get it. I get it. I'm a man of science. I understand size exclusion and differences in force, but the long of the short of it is, I think Smith & Wesson knocked it out of the park with this 380 pistol. This is perhaps the superior 380, at least 380 semi-auto striker auto offering on the market. And anyway, those are just my thoughts on it. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. Be sure to thumbs up the video. Don't forget to do that. And until next time, it's Friday. We're getting ready to get down on some food and enjoy some immense shalom.